Good evening, this is Dick Kelter, and welcome to another episode of Sports Talk. This evening we have with us the coaches and captains of the ice hockey team from Foxborough High School, and want to welcome you, gentlemen. Thank you for coming to join us and talk about the season coming. On the far side from me, we have Jim Genovese, the head coach. To his left, we have Mark Cedarchuk, the assistant, and next to him we have senior captain Nick Luciano and senior captain Gus Hurley in the middle, and John Cronin on the end is a sophomore, but he's the goalie for the team, and we think he's got a contribution to make to the conversation tonight. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming to join us.
Thanks for having us.
We're fast and furious. Thanksgiving is but a distant memory all of a sudden. We've been on the ice for 10, 12 days, and I understand you got a scrimmage under your belt and and your first game.
We do. We had a scrimmage last week against Dedham. We did fairly well. We came out with a 6-1 win. And then last Saturday we opened up against Stoughton with a 4-1 win. So it's off to a good start. Hopefully we keep it going.
Bay State is a tough program to play into.
It is.
And Stoughton usually has a formidable team.
Yeah. Yes. Stoughton game was a very good game. We pulled away at the end. We showed a lot of grit in the third period.
Mm-hmm. Jim, people may forget. Would you just remind us of how you came through the hockey program and what brought you here?
Sure. This is my 8th season as head coach Foxborough. Before that, I was JV coach for Braintree High for about 3 years. I played my high school hockey in Marshfield. I went on and played junior hockey, college hockey at Suffolk for a little bit. So I've been coaching for about 11 years now. And, this program's turned around from, 8 years ago when we started. I remember 13 guys came out for the program. So we've had the numbers improved, and it's been going great.
Well, strong finish last year didn't hurt you in your recruiting efforts for this year, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. We did come on strong last 6-7 games, and we won a tournament game, which, from what I heard, is the first one in Foxborough High history. We beat Blue Hills in overtime last year. Unfortunately, we got Hanover High in the next game, and they ended up going to the Garden and losing in the finals, but it was a tough matchup.
And I understand, John, you were a part of that. You stepped in between the pipes and had a few assists and that strong finish.
Yeah, that was very exciting, and I was happy about that. Glad to play as a freshman, and it was really good. Got some playing time.
Coach Mark,
Yes.
your background before you came here to work with Jim?
My background, I was in a Boston Public for 7 years over at West Roxbury High, and I was the coach over there for 4 years. Before that, I did a number of different teams throughout the area, working with Charles River girls team, a Boston Rangers team out of Walpole, and I've done a number of different clinics throughout the state. I've worked at U.S. satellite national training camps throughout the state as far as evaluations for the junior national team, under 18 team that trains out of Colorado Springs. As far as my own career, I started out at Cardigan Mountain School up in New Hampshire, and then went to Cushing Academy, and went to Boston College after that.
Not a terrible program, huh?
No, they're doing okay.
And we were talking, your dad is famous for his years as coach.
Yeah, my dad, his background is completely hockey, 100%. He went to Boston Tech back in the day, and he went on to BC. He was the captain his senior year, and he coached there for 22 years. And now he's an assistant over at Noble and Greeno out of Dedham for their girls varsity team, who has a very strong program.
That's quite a program.
Yeah, there's a lot of girls that are on that team that go on to play Division I. There's a couple of girls that just graduated a few years ago that were on the national team this past Olympics. So it's a real strong program.
I remember that well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nick?
Yes.
What's the strength of the team going to be this year, offense or defense?
A little bit of both, I think. Me and Gus, I think, will be, and me and Gus will be strong on defense, I hope. And we also have a sophomore coming back, John Brolin, who is also strong.
and a freshman this year named Aiden Sullivan, who has really showed some skills and looks to add to the defense. As for offense, Pete Smith really came on strong for the Stoughton game. Came in with a hat trick, actually, which led us to win. And also, we have a new freshman coming from Douglas, Mass, named Zach Lewis, who is also going to contribute to that first line too, and several others as well.
Excellent. So so you got 2 senior defensemen.
Yeah.
Do you pair up or do you split so you've got another?
We split. I'm playing with John, and then Gus is playing with Aiden. So.
Excellent. And you guys have been with the program for all 4 years?
All 4 years,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And you entered the program as a freshman, obviously,
Yeah,
and
2 years so far.
you showed enough strength at the end of last year that you are the lead candidate for to start as goalie as well. Who's your backup?
JJ Blankhorn, yeah, he's good. And
Same class, older, younger?
he's a senior this
He's
year.
a senior?
Yep. And then Clay Lenapolt, he's a junior this year. So.
Okay,
they're
so
both
you're
good.
3 deep at goalkeeper.
Yep. So 3 goalies. That's good.
Excellent. Coach, you got an interesting schedule coming up here. Dover Sherborne, always a tough program. St. Joe's. Now then you go to big school, small school. You get to get a whack away at King Philip.
Yes.
And Franklin in the first 4 league games. Middleborough League or none?
None.
None. And Taunton? That's
Taunton's league. Yes.
And they're big school as well.
Yes. Yeah, the Hawk alone is a tough league to play in. We got a pretty tough non-league schedule this year as well. Like you said, Dover, they beat us up pretty good last year. That's our next game on the 27th. So we're preparing for that right now. After that, we'll see what comes. But right now, it's both Dover, Sherborne.
Where's St. Joe's located?
Watertown?
Watertown?
Yes.
Okay. But obviously,
We
very
matched up.
competitive program.
We matched up pretty well against them last year. First game, it was a competitive game. Second game, I think we pulled out on top late. So it was later in the season. What happens with us, we play our non-league games, the second non-league games later in the season. So after we go through the Hawk, which everyone knows is a tough league, so we're well prepared for our non-league games at the end of the season.
Well, the hope is with the tougher competition, your guys are going to get better. They're going to
Absolutely.
raise the level of their game
That's-
to meet. Mark, how many slots do you have to fill outside your Hawk schedule to get to, what are you allowed, 20 or 22?
We are allowed 20 games, and we need to schedule 4,
No,
Non-league
4 to 15,
games.
9 total, I think.
9 total.
Now, inside
so-
the Hawk, you play each small
We
school
play-
twice,
we-
big school once? Or?
Exactly. We play Franklin once, Canton, the North Attleboro once. We play Stoughton twice, and Milford, another team that was added to the Hawk. We played them once. So it's overall, like Coach Genevieve said, I would say the Hawk-a-Mock from top to bottom is one of the toughest leagues in the state. So it's a very competitive league, which again makes our players that more competitive and makes them better, because you only get better by playing against better competition. So
What kind of numbers did we pull out this year, Coach, for tryouts?
I think the final number was 22 or 23, but it's way up from what it was. I remember my second year, I think I was pulling a goalie off the football team just to put pads on them and come out. Now like John said, we have 3 goalies coming out, so the interest is starting to come back, which is a good thing.
The youth programs kind of went into a lull for a while, but they're jumping back out there too. The KP Norfolk, KP Walpole program, and you got a Saints program or something on this
Yes,
side of
there's
us.
nothing right in Foxborough, but there's, nowadays there's a lot of different leagues around that. It's not so much youth hockey. It's the junior programs have youth teams now that kids are playing and moving up the ranks before high school.
There are a lot of, like you say, there are a lot of independent outside programs
Yes.
that are allowing kids to play more competitive hockey than the youth hockey programs did
Right.
prior to getting into your hands.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we have this wonderful facility with a third surface to spread the ice time around. Are we doing 5 a.m.?
We have a couple 5 a.m.s, but not as many as we used to. That's for sure. That third rink really did help. I think there's 5 or 6 schools playing out of that rink. It's always busy. You go there Wednesday, Saturday night, you can't even find a parking spot. You know, there's 4 or 5 games going a night, so it's good. It's good atmosphere there. It's
Well, it is. You can not only go and play your game, but if it's stacked right, you can stay and watch the competition.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Have
Absolutely.
the kids sit there and do a little scouting of
Right.
their own.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That was always the good old days at the Boston Arena in
You
the
get
Bay
the-
State League, where I grew up. Saturday night was put up $1, get on the spectator bus, and
Right.
go watch 4 or 5 games
Right.
every Saturday night. It's a good atmosphere for the kids, and again, they get to see their opponents before they actually have to get on the ice.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
You guys run into play any independent in the off season and run into some of your opponents and teammates.
We have a couple spring and summer leagues at the Foxborough Sports Center. So, like every year, I get to have a little off-season play with these guys and some of the other guys on the team. And every once in a while, you get someone from a different town who will be on your team just because their town does not have a strong presence in the summer league. So it's interesting. It's not as competitive because they don't want people getting hurt. So it's a lot of times no checking. But it's a good time to be with your teammates, maybe develop some more chemistry.
And develop those leg muscles and
Yeah. Get
so
bigger and stronger.
avoid injuries during the regular season. Coach, how do you? It sounds like with the goal scoring early that you might have found yourself a couple of snipers.
Well, I hope so. We lost a lot of points last year. Graduation and a sophomore moving on to a prep school, but I think we'll be all set up front. We got guys that are returning that came back a lot better from last year, and they're hungry, for the puck and to put the puck in the net. And like Nick said, Peter Smith had an excellent game Saturday, and he really showed a ton of improvement coming back from last year to this year. So we hope it continues.
Mark, your role, keep him on the bench.
Yeah, no, my role is working predominantly with the defensemen and, helping Coach Genovese with the lines and combination of the lines and the whole power play and penalty kill and matching up what's best there and all of that and coming up with a game plan for practice each day and just making sure these guys are on task and ready to go day in and day out.
Interesting how that second set of eyes can see something and pick up and say, hey, these guys look like they.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely feed off of each other, and we always ask, did you see anything that we can, maybe adjust in going into the next period or address that we need to address and point out that we saw in the first period that we need to correct from happening again in the second period. And
Those in-between period adjustments, just like a football team.
yeah, so we try to do that as best we can.
You guys have to adjust on the fly.
Right. But
Nick, what was I going to ask you here? I had a good question in my head. Well, we'll come back to that when it comes back to me. Who is being considered as in the small school division top of the heap this year?
Oof. In the Davenport division, the smaller one,
Yeah.
I think Canton's going to come out on top. They've always been strong, fast, and hit hard. So we're going to have to really have a really good game against them. And another top team is OA, Oliver Ames. I'm friends with one of the goalies there, and he's really their probably their top guy, and it's going to be tough to score on him. So
How does Gus? How does the size match up? Notoriously, we are not a huge team. in height stature. And sometimes Canton fields a team that looks like basketball players.
It definitely provides an obstacle, but I don't think it's that hard to get over. It's really like the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And so really it's not about how big you are as much as how hard you hit. So like we have all sorts of guys that just like play feisty. They play like, like Brad Marchand. So like last game, Aiden Sullivan, a freshman, was, knocking people over. Pete Smith plays very aggressively. He's not afraid to go in those corners and knock guys down. And then, of course, dynamic duo going out there like the Bash Brothers knocking everyone around. So
that's not a terrible thing. How's the penalty ratio?
for us, it's not bad. There are a couple kids on our team that rack up some pretty high penalty minutes.
And sometimes that's accidental, but you don't have you cannot at the high school level play goon style of hockey because you forfeit your ability to play very quickly.
Right. Exactly.
With the penalty,
exactly.
Right.
the progressive
Pay the
penalty
price
situation.
quickly.
Find yourself sitting up part of the season if you get too aggressive in the first couple of games.
Right. Not only that, teams work on power plays, sometimes 20, 30 minutes of practice time just to, if they have that advantage to capitalize on it. We spend a lot of time on our power play just, for those opportunities that come up so we capitalize as well. But yes, we hopefully the minutes don't rack up because it's going to get pretty ugly quick if it does.
Well, and again, you're in a very tough league. You're playing non-league competition. That's pretty tough stuff. You're not picking up. You score more points for tournament eligibility if you play up a division and win those kinds of games.
No,
Does that
they're
factor
all worth 2 points. We do qualify for the Sullivan rule, which is if we win half our Division III games, we get in the tournament that way because our league is made up of pretty much Division I and II teams.
Yeah, again, because
Right.
you're one of those, if not one of the smallest
Right.
male population in the
Right.
league.
Right.
So it's really hard to command. You don't have any football player friends that skate, do you?
I played football.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I played football. I picked it up freshman year. I like it. I'm a kicker, so I don't really get hit that way.
Smart guy.
Yeah. So I don't really get hit, but I like it, so it's good.
Having looked at the backside of these two guys and a few others in your first couple of games, what do you see?
I think we've improved from last year. I think we look pretty good, so it should be a good year.
Can we beat the bullies with speed, Coach?
The thing is about this team is it's a great young core of talent that we have. We really do. We the first two lines are comprised of 2 juniors, and the rest are all sophomore and freshmen. So we're ecstatic about the future and this year because the amount of playing time that these younger guys are going to get is going to be priceless in the long run. Because by the time they're seniors, they'll have a lot of years of experience of playing time that they maybe weren't expecting or whatnot. But the core talent of freshmen and sophomores is excellent. And like I said, I think it's the first or second practice to these guys that Jim and I have seen since we've been here. One of the overall best skating teams that we've seen come through Foxborough. So we're pretty ecstatic about that and excited for the future and what it holds.
Coach, besides these two guys, how many seniors you lose at the end of the season?
We have a total of 6. But like Mark said, we have good freshman, sophomore core of
Out of 20,
kids.
22 guys,
Right.
The finish of last season and this season is giving you something to build on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These guys and their brethren seniors are going to become the role model kind of guys.
Absolutely. And
This is how we play the game.
that's what they, especially these two, they've led by example, and they're going to teach the freshman and sophomore, what it takes to, compete for us. And
So you have
that's-
a couple more assistant coaches out there.
Absolutely.
working-
Anytime
working
they wanna
towards
come
those
back.
goals.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Was it a tough battle for 10, 12 days among the goalies?
Yeah, it was good competition between us all, so we were pretty close, and it was good.
You just make each other better.
Yeah, we do.
I have to leave you out of this one. Gus, what do you think about, got any colleges aimed, got any reply letters? And
So far, I've applied early action to UMass Amherst and University of Michigan at Ann Arbor. I haven't heard back from them yet. I'd say my top school would be University of Pennsylvania. I want to go for chemical engineering.
Excellent, excellent. And do you expect to try and play at the college level?
I'd like to play college hockey, like even if it's just intramural or club. But I'll do what I can, and just for fun. And I love the sport.
Nick?
I applied early action to UMass Amherst, Providence College, Quinnipiac University, and University of Rhode Island. So haven't heard from any of them yet, but I should soon.
Coming soon.
Yeah, soon.
Right after Christmas?
Yeah, yep.
All this stuff hits the fan?
Hopefully, yeah.
Geez, that Quinnipiac program is a growing program.
Oh yeah, they're high level D1.
They did some serious stuff last year.
Oh yeah, yep. I think most of those schools have solid D1 teams, so their club programs must be pretty good. So looking forward to trying out for them. Are you interested in playing
either hockey or some other sport at the college level?
Definitely hockey, maybe golf too. So we'll see.
You on the golf team here?
I am, yeah. Yep.
They didn't do so bad last year?
We did pretty good this year. I think we were 9-7 and then made the state tournament.
Yeah, I saw some of the state tournament stuff in the newspaper.
Yeah, so
That's
we
fine.
did well.
I think everybody should do that. Everybody should have an opportunity, even though your love for hockey goes year-round, an opportunity to go off and hit a golf ball, hit a tennis ball, lifetime sports.
Yeah, yep.
You can take with you. You can't play hockey forever.
I know.
What do you think you're going to major in?
Business, definitely. Probably either accounting or finance, something in that range, yeah.
Excellent. Good plans. You got a while to think about that.
Yeah, I do.
Come back next year as a junior and you'll be starting the process. We'll ask you about a few of those.
All right.
Coach, what you don't have size. What's your style of play? Is it speed?
Speed and just outwork the opponent. Since I've been here, every team we've had has been, a great, hard-working team. And that's one thing we talk about every day is we just have to outwork the other team. The other teams might be bigger, stronger, faster, but as long as we outwork them, then we'll give them a ride for their money, and hopefully we'll get the W's this year.
Coach, is everybody healthy?
For the most part, like I mentioned,
Nagging wrist injury.
nagging.
Thumb injury.
Nick's younger brother, unfortunately, last week broke his thumb in practice. I'm not sure exactly how long he'll be out for, but he'll be out for at least a few weeks here. So we lost him, but other than that, everyone looks strong and healthy, ready to go. So we're looking for a strong season this year coming from these guys. So pretty excited.
The Hawk in general, again because of our male population, are they all? A lot of them have size on you, Coach, that you have to out-muscle them a little bit?
For sure. Teams like Franklin have over 100 kids coming out for their program. I was speaking with the coach last week from Franklin. He had 22 seniors on his roster, and we have 22 guys on our entire roster. So it's it's just the way it is. We have to go out and still compete against them. I mean, it's not like we can just say we're not coming out on the ice because you guys are too big. We got to go out there and work hard and compete.
Is Middleborough and Taunton kind of new to you guys this year?
Taunton's we played the last 2 seasons. Middleborough this will be the first time we're playing. So myself and Mark have to get out and take a look at them, get a game plan going before we do play them.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to have a home rink. Used to do a lot of traveling, playing at various and sundry rinks. I think when you first came here,
Yes.
you were all over the place.
Well, I'm sorry. We always had since I've been here, we always had the Foxborough rink, but
Okay.
not as many schools were in the rink, so we were traveling a lot. A lot of schools over the past few years have moved into Foxborough rink. So, like you said before, like any Wednesday, Saturday, we can go scout a game or, catch up another Hawk school just playing the rink next door. So it's good.
Yeah, the multi-surface, the Marlboro facility, have they expanded to 4 surfaces now?
I think they're up to 6,
I
7.
think, yeah, they have 6 or 7 rinks over there now.
They run all kinds of tournaments
Yeah.
there. It's crazy. But again, if you happen to be up there and Franklin's playing somebody,
Oh, yeah.
you have an opportunity to
Yeah.
do some scouting and see what you're up against.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You kind of in charge of some of the scouting as well, Mark?
Yeah, we get out and try to see as many games as we can. Like Jim was saying, and like we all know, a lot of teams play out of the rink that we play out of. Mansfield, KP, Norton. So we have a good opportunity to see these teams that we play against there. And then we try to get to some of those other rinks that we know that we're going to be playing. Stoughton and Oliver Ames play out of the rink right behind Brockton High. And so we go over there and try to watch those games over there as much as we can. Like Coach Genevieve says, Middleborough is new to us this year, so I believe they play out of
Playing out of Taunton.
I believe they play out of Taunton. And so, we'll get a good scouting report on them and go from there and come up with a good game plan.
Okay. So we're looking at Dover Sherborne. Let's promo it. What's the date? What's the time?
The 27th, I think it's an 8 p.m. start at home.
At home. Okay. So we'll bring the crowds out here from Foxborough. This is a great format for you guys to get you on tape and get you out in front of the public and try to build. Now that you've got recruits, besides 40 or so parents, to build that fan base and have the kids come out. And the girls were all excited last year because the basketball team, they asked for a spectator bus and they were told, nah, I don't know if you can fill a spectator bus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It went in a matter of minutes, and they were very, very appreciative of the crowd that followed them.
Yeah.
I think they were playing in Massasoit or something in the tournament. And,
Yeah.
so it's right here in town. It's not
Right.
like you got to drive 100 miles now to see these guys play. And,
Right.
building the spectator force for people that really enjoy good ice hockey is good for you and the youth that are coming up and looking into the program and their parents, and see if we can't get a few hundred people in that rink to watch you play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know these guys get a big charge out of it when they see across the ice their peers that fill up that whole student section, and it really motivates them, and they get really excited about it when they see their peers and their student body in the stands there.
I noticed the last time I broadcast a game several years ago, there is a good student base. That's very interesting comment, but there was a good student base, and they're loud.
Oh yeah.
and that's you guys you want a few people around that care, and
Yeah, definitely.
it gets the adrenaline going a little faster,
Oh, yeah.
and we get a few more strides in. Well, listen, we appreciate you guys coming by today. Best of luck against Dover Sherborne and the rest of the season. Coach, thanks so much for bringing the guys in, and come back next year. We'll talk about the stats and where we're going next year.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
This is Dick Kelter for Sports Talk, Cable 8, Foxborough, saying thank you for watching and good night.